Get up and get it done in 2025. This isn't just another motivational slogan, it's a personal command, a challenge, a line drawn in the sand between who you've been and who you're becoming. If you're reading this, understand one thing: 2025 is not going to wait for you to feel ready. The world isn't going to pause and ask if you're comfortable enough to begin. The doors of opportunity won't open themselves. They'll stay shut unless you kick them open with bold, decisive action. Waiting for the right moment is just another excuse wrapped in logic. You tell yourself you'll start when things slow down, when you have more time, when you're less tired, when you feel more confident, when the fear fades. But deep down, you know those are lies, comfortable lies. And every day you wait, those lies become walls, not real ones, just thick enough to keep you trapped in a life of potential that never becomes performance. You don't need more time. You need more action. You don't need to feel ready. You need to move anyway. The truth is, 2025 is already happening. Days are already ticking off the calendar. There are people less talented than you, less intelligent than you, less experienced than you, doing more. Why? Because they're in motion. They stopped waiting. They decided that execution beats perfection, that movement matters more than motivation, that progress beats paralysis. And that's the secret. The difference between those who rise and those who stay stuck isn't luck. It's not destiny. It's not even talent. It's the brutal, unglamorous ability to do what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like doing it. It's choosing action over excuses over and over until momentum becomes your new normal. You see, excuses are seductive. They sound reasonable. They even protect your ego from failure. But every excuse you make robs you of a result you could have earned. Every time you say, "not yet," you reinforce the belief that you're not capable, when in fact, you are more than capable. You're just not moving. Let's be honest. How many more podcasts do you need to listen to before you start? How many more books will you read before you apply? How many more times will you rewrite your goals without doing the work to reach them? You've gathered the knowledge, you've watched the videos, you've dreamed the dreams, now it's time to execute. Because nobody's coming to save you. There's no perfect team, no magic formula, no savior mentor who will walk in and change your life for you. This is your responsibility. Your breakthrough won't come when you get external help. It'll come when you get brutally honest with yourself. When you stop letting your feelings dictate your actions. When you stop needing conditions to be perfect before you begin. Action over excuses means showing up to the gym when you're tired. It means waking up early even if you went to bed late. It means choosing discipline over comfort because you understand that the pain of growth is far lighter than the pain of regret. Action over excuses means doing the work in silence, without applause, without recognition, because you're not doing it for validation. You're doing it for transformation. It means understanding that motivation is a liar. Motivation will abandon you when it's cold outside, when life gets hard, when results are slow. That's why discipline is your true friend. Discipline is loyal. Discipline shows up when you don't want to. Discipline is what builds champions, not hype. 2025 is not about inspiration. It's about intention, and then about action, relentless action. It's about putting your head down and building something worth being proud of. Not for Instagram, not for validation, but for you, because you owe yourself that. You've wasted too much time doubting, delaying, and downplaying your greatness. And let's talk about fear for a moment. Fear will always be there. It's a shadow that follows anyone who dares to dream bigger. But fear is not the enemy. Inaction is. Fear whispers, "What if you fail?" But courage roars back, "What if I fly? And even if you fall, so what? At least you moved. At least you tried. At least you grew." Failure isn't final. Quitting is, and inaction, that's just slow motion quitting. The kind that doesn't make a sound, but robs your soul every day. You need to become the kind of person who acts regardless, who trains when they're sore, who studies when they're bored, who creates when no one's watching, who builds when the world says rest. Because greatness doesn't come from being comfortable, it comes from being committed. You will not stumble into success in 2025. You will build your way there brick by brick, day by day, sweat by sweat. No shortcuts, no hacks, just consistent, disciplined action, the kind that transforms doubt into confidence, laziness into discipline, and dreams into results. And if you think the world owes you something, wake up. The world owes you nothing. You want it? Then go take it. Show up and prove you deserve it. Be the one who outworks everyone in the room. Be the one who doesn't fold under pressure but rises. Be the one who inspires not with words, but with results. Understand this. The discipline you build this year will outlast any resolution you made in January. The habits you form now will shape the person you become in December. The work you put in when no one is looking will be the reason they can't ignore you later. And the choices you make each day, they are either building your future or destroying it. So decide. Decide to stop blaming your past. Decide to stop comparing yourself. Decide to stop being average. This year is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. It's not about being fearless. It's about doing it anyway. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to begin. And when it gets hard, and it will, don't retreat. Push harder. When others quit, you double down. When the crowd sleeps, you rise. When doubt creeps in, you shut it out with action. Because in 2025, action is your answer to everything. Don't wait to feel ready. Get ready by moving. Don't wait for the fear to fade. Act despite it. Don't wait for the right time. Create it. The most powerful person in the room is not the loudest, not the strongest. It's the one who shows up every day, no matter what. That person is unshakable. That person becomes unstoppable. That person is who you were born to be. You didn't come this far to remain the same. You didn't survive the setbacks, the pain, the failures just to quit now. You came this far to rise, to evolve, to rewrite your story in bold, unapologetic ink. Let 2025 be the year you stop talking about potential and start living in purpose. Start small if you have to. Wake up 30 minutes earlier. Put the phone down and pick up your discipline. Break a sweat. Read the book. Send the email. Post the video. Take the risk. Do one thing every single day that brings you closer to your goal. And don't stop. You're not waiting for opportunities this year. You're creating them. You're not asking for permission. You're claiming your space. You're not hoping things get better. You're becoming better. No more procrastination disguised as planning. No more fear pretending to be logic. No more hesitation dressed as humility. This is your year to rise, and the world needs what you have. And when you fall, and you will, you don't stay down. You don't sulk. You don't quit. You get back up stronger, smarter, hungrier. Because you know success doesn't come to the most talented. It comes to the most relentless. So get up, get going, get focused, get consistent, get uncomfortable, get disciplined, and above all, get it done. Not tomorrow. Now. Because 1 year from today, you will either be proud of the action you took or haunted by the excuse you made. The choice is yours, and the clock is ticking. So make this year count. Get up and get it done in 2025. Discipline is greater than motivation. Say it again, louder, until it becomes part of you. Because if there's one truth that separates the winners from the watchers, the doers from the dreamers, and the successful from the stuck, it's this. What gets things done is your consistent effort, not fleeting feelings, not excitement, not mood, not hype, just raw, patient, determined discipline. You've been told all your life to stay motivated. You've heard it in speeches, read it in books, seen it splashed across posters and videos. Stay inspired, stay hungry, stay motivated. And while motivation is beautiful, it's lightning in a bottle, it's the spark that gets you out of bed, it is also deeply unreliable because motivation depends on how you feel. It's emotional, it's circumstantial, it's tied to weather, mood, hormones, and 1,000 little things you can't control. And when those things shift, as they always do, your motivation vanishes. And if motivation is all you're relying on to chase your dreams, then you'll stop every time it's not convenient, every time you're tired, every time the crowd's not cheering, every time results are slow, every time it's cold or late or lonely. You'll stop, you'll pause, you'll reset your goals, and you'll never finish the thing that matters. But discipline is different. Discipline shows up when motivation hides. Discipline is the silent worker, the invisible force behind every long-term success story you admire. Discipline is not flashy. It doesn't care about applause. It's not Instagrammable. It's gritty, repetitive, unromantic effort, and that's exactly why it works. Discipline doesn't ask how you feel. Discipline doesn't need a good mood to move. Discipline doesn't wait for ideal conditions. It decides once and then it does, over and over again. Do you think Olympic athletes always feel motivated to train in the early hours of cold mornings? Do you think successful entrepreneurs wake up every day bursting with energy? Do you think authors write 400-page books in perfect euphoric creativity all the time? No, they do it because of discipline, because of commitment, because they've made a vow to themselves that their dreams are more important than their distractions, because they understand this simple but powerful truth. The person who trains when it's hard will always outperform the person who trains only when it's easy. And that's why in 2025, if you want real, lasting results in your health, your career, your relationships, your habits, then you must fall in love with discipline, not as a punishment, not as something that restricts you, but as your superpower. The difference between who you are and who you want to become lies in the uncomfortable moments of self-discipline. If you only work when you feel like it, you'll never get anywhere worth going. But if you show up every day regardless, if you work when you're tired, show up when you're discouraged, and keep going when no one believes in you, then the results will come, not overnight, not magically, but they will come, because the universe rewards the consistent, not the occasional. Discipline is greater than motivation because motivation dies quickly. It fades when things get real. Motivation is how you start, but discipline is how you finish. In this new year, you have to stop depending on wanting to do it. You must shift your identity, become someone who does it anyway, someone who doesn't negotiate with their feelings, someone who trains the body when the mind wants to rest, someone who wakes up early not because it's fun, but because it's necessary, someone who says, I don't rise to the level of my mood, I rise to the level of my standard. Set the standard high. Show up for yourself, day in, day out. Make the promise. I will be consistent even when I'm not motivated. I will keep going even when it's boring. I will hold the line even when no one's watching. That's where the magic is. The magic is in the quiet moments, the ones no one applauds, the early morning alarms, the late night study sessions, the missed parties, the skipped comfort zones, the endless repetition. That's where winners are made, not on stage, not in the spotlight, but in the shadows of quiet, disciplined effort. Discipline teaches you to trust yourself. When you say you'll do something and then you do it, your confidence grows. Your integrity sharpens. You no longer wait for the world to believe in you because you believe in you. You become dependable to yourself. You become powerful. And when you become powerful in that way, you no longer care about fleeting bursts of inspiration. You become a force. You become immune to distraction. You rise above mediocrity, not because you're better than anyone, but because you're more consistent than everyone. You know the secret. You know that showing up every day, even when the fire inside you is barely a flicker, is how legacies are built. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the right things repeatedly. Eating clean when junk food calls, showing up to the gym when it's raining, sticking to the budget when the temptation hits, speaking kindly when you're angry, holding your ground when old habits scream for attention. Discipline rewrites your destiny. You won't always feel like it, but you'll always be glad you did it. Because while motivation gives you a reason to start, discipline gives you the results that make people stop and say, "How did you do that?" And the answer won't be flashy. It won't be poetic. It'll be real, raw, and honest. I showed up every day, no matter what. That's it. That's the truth. The people who get ahead this year are the people who will commit to the grind, to the routine, to the boring, to the hard, to the things no one wants to do, because that's where the real growth happens. So if you want to change your life in 2025, stop searching for motivation. Stop praying for it to arrive in the morning. Stop waiting for energy to hit before you act. Build your life around principles, not preferences. Train yourself to act regardless of how you feel. Get up when the alarm rings. Write when the inspiration is gone. Study when the world is sleeping. Work out when the soreness screams. Do the right thing, especially when it's hard. Because every time you do, you're training your identity. You're building your new self. You're telling your brain, this is who I am now. And guess what? That identity sticks. Because discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. At first, it'll feel forced. It'll feel stiff and unnatural. But give it a few weeks, a few months. You'll look back and realize your actions are no longer optional. They're automatic. You've trained your body, your mind, your habits to move regardless. Discipline is freedom in disguise. It looks like restriction, but it gives you power. Power over your impulses, power over your environment, power over your future. And in 2025, power is what you need more than permission. Power to decide and do, not just think and plan. Because let's be real, how many times have you said, I just need to get motivated again, while watching hours of content you never act on? The world doesn't need more motivated people. It needs more disciplined people, people who live what they say, people who show up for what they believe in, people who don't just dream, but do. You want more money, more strength, a better body, deeper relationships, peace of mind? Then become more disciplined. Do the small things right, then do them again. Stack the wins, build the momentum, push through resistance, fight the urge to stop, and when you feel like quitting, remember why you started. Discipline is the glue that holds your future together. Without it, even the best plans fall apart. With it, even the worst situations become stepping stones. And when your discipline becomes unbreakable, you become unstoppable. So this is your challenge in 2025. Don't live another year ruled by emotion. Don't wake up hoping to be in the mood to pursue your goals. Create a structure, create habits, create rules, commit to them, and follow through, not just on good days, but on the ugly ones. Because if you can show up on the hard days, the ordinary ones become easy. And before long, you'll look back and realize that your discipline didn't just help you succeed, it transformed who you are. Discipline is not a punishment. It's the path, it's the truth, it's the foundation of greatness. So forget the hype, forget the glitter, forget waiting. Build discipline, trust discipline, become disciplined. And in doing so, watch how 2025 becomes the year that everything changes. Discipline is greater than motivation. That's not just a phrase. That's a reality, a law of success, a truth that every person who has ever built something meaningful, lasting, and powerful has come to accept. Because when you strip away all the noise, when you stop scrolling through quotes and videos trying to find that next rush of adrenaline to fire you up, All that's left is this simple question: will you do it? Yes or no? That's what separates discipline from motivation. Motivation is emotional. It's a mood. It's a feeling that rises with the sun and falls with the rain. It's powerful, yes. It can get you started. It can fill you with dreams. But it's also fragile. It disappears the moment you face resistance. It's there when it's fun. It's gone when it's not. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. Discipline doesn't ask for permission. Discipline doesn't take attendance to see who's watching. Discipline is the internal decision to act regardless of emotion, regardless of circumstances, regardless of comfort. In 2025, the people who succeed, who transform, who elevate their lives to a whole new level will not be the most talented, the most motivated, or the most inspired. They'll be the ones who show up every single day, whether they feel like it or not. They'll be the ones who push forward on days when the fire is gone. They'll be the ones who do the work even when their emotions beg them not to. That's why discipline is the game changer. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the firewood. You don't cook a meal or warm a house with a spark. You need a flame that lasts. You need something that endures the cold, the dark, the wind. That's discipline. It stays lit. Let's get honest. How many times have you said, I just need to feel more motivated? Or, I'll start when I'm in the right mindset. But here's the hard truth. If you wait for the right feeling, you may wait your entire life. Success doesn't come to those who feel like it. It comes to those who move anyway. It's not about being in the mood. It's about being on a mission. You will not always want to get up early. You will not always want to hit the gym. You will not always want to say no to distractions. You will not always want to work through the weekend. You will not always feel excited. And you shouldn't expect to, because that's not life. That's not reality. But discipline steps in when motivation fails. Discipline takes over when inspiration dies. Discipline is the reason people transform their bodies, master new skills, create thriving businesses, write best-selling books, or build something that outlives them. Not because they were constantly excited, but because they were constantly consistent. Consistency is the ultimate superpower in 2025. Not talent, not passion, not hype, but the boring, gritty, unsexy repetition of doing what matters, especially when you don't feel like it. That's what builds confidence. That's what earns respect. That's what changes lives. And here's the secret. The more you rely on motivation, the more powerless you become. The more you wait for motivation, the more control you give to your emotions. But the more you choose discipline, the more powerful you become. The more you show up anyway, the more unstoppable you become. When you train yourself to act regardless of how you feel, you become your own source of power. You no longer need to be inspired by someone else. You no longer need external validation. You no longer need perfect conditions. You just do what must be done. That doesn't mean you won't feel resistance. You will, every day. Resistance is natural. But discipline isn't about eliminating resistance. It's about moving through it. It's about taking action in the presence of doubt, fear, laziness, and fatigue. Discipline says, I will do it anyway. Discipline says, I said I would, so I am. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel, I care about who I'm becoming. And that's the heart of it. Who you become in 2025 will not be shaped by your emotions. It will be shaped by your decisions, your routines, your systems, your commitment to doing what others won't, over and over again. Think of the moments that will define your year. Not the ones where you're energized and everything's going your way, but the ones when you're tired, when you're alone, when nothing's working, and you still choose to take that one small step forward. That's what will shape your story. That's what will separate you from the rest. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the right things consistently. It's about saying yes to the hard decisions and no to the easy escapes. It's about tracking the habits that build your future and showing up for them daily, rain or shine, high or low, motivated or not. And discipline isn't just about productivity. It's about freedom. It frees you from guilt, from regret, from constantly restarting, from being a slave to your feelings. Because when you are disciplined, you are free, you are in control, you are no longer reactive, you're proactive, you move with purpose, not pressure. Start thinking like that. Not what do I feel like doing today, but what needs to be done today no matter how I feel. Not am I motivated, but am I committed? Not can I skip just this once, but who am I becoming if I skip? Discipline is identity. It's not just action, it's who you are. The disciplined person doesn't have to think about going to the gym, they just go. The disciplined person doesn't debate waking up early, they just rise. The disciplined person doesn't argue with themselves about doing the work, they just do it. And that's available to you, not overnight, not with a quick fix, but with daily practice. The more you act with discipline, the more it becomes your default. At first, it'll feel like a battle, a constant tug of war between what's easy and what's right. But stay in the fight, because every disciplined action is a vote for your future self. This year, don't chase motivation, build structure, build systems, set clear, non-negotiable habits, make them small but powerful, stack wins. Don't rely on willpower. Design your environment to support your goals. Limit distractions. Plan your days. Protect your energy. Guard your focus. And when you fall off, because you will, don't spiral. Don't throw it all away. Don't wait for the next Monday or the next month. Get back up the same day. Because discipline isn't perfection, it's persistence. It's okay to feel unmotivated. It's okay to feel tired. It's okay to feel lost. But what's not okay is letting those feelings decide the course of your life. You were not born to be ruled by your moods. You were born to rise above them, to lead yourself, to master yourself. 2025 will challenge you. It will test your resolve. It will throw things at you that you didn't see coming. But in those moments, discipline will be your anchor. It will remind you of who you are, of what you promised yourself, of the vision you're building. So when it's early and the bed is warm, choose discipline. When it's hard and quitting feels easier, choose discipline. When it's boring and no one is watching, choose discipline. Because every time you do, you take a step away from who you were and a step closer to who you're meant to be. This is your year. Not because of a date on a calendar, not because you made a resolution, but because you made a decision to be disciplined, a decision to be consistent, a decision to rise. No more waiting for the perfect feeling, no more quitting at the first sign of difficulty, no more living in cycles of hype and crash. This is the year you ground yourself in something stronger. This is the year you stop starting over. This is the year you finish. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be the smartest. You just need to be the one who refuses to quit, the one who builds the habit, the one who embraces the grind, the one who makes discipline a lifestyle, not a temporary push. So choose it, live it, embody it. Let every action whisper, I am disciplined. Let every day be a declaration that you are in control of your life. Let every setback fuel your next step. And let 2025 be the year you don't just talk about change, you become the change. Because in the end, discipline will do what motivation never could. It will carry you across the finish line. It will build the life you dream of. And it will remind you every day that greatness is not found in bursts of excitement, but in the quiet strength of relentless consistency. Get up, lock in, and build it, brick by disciplined brick.